Join me today as I take you along for a realistic day of what we are eating and what we are doing. I have a special announcement to make as well, so stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Glad to have you. I'm Brittany, and I wanted to just take you along a little bit of a very normal day for us as of late. Obviously starting some bread first thing in the morning. I'm just getting breakfast going in the background. We've been keeping things pretty simple, but we do have a little bit of a different schedule this month. My husband is working nights, and so it has shifted our schedule a bit, and we have adapted. So our biggest, most labor-intensive meal tends to be the morning time. And when I say labor-intensive, not really that laborious, because I do still keep it pretty simple. But I do try to give us all a hearty meal that we can all sit down to the table with and just really get to catch up and talk, since we don't have dinners really to do that with this month. So I do always have to get those buns starting in the morning. As I've talked about before, I go through different sourdough phases, and right now we are having a moment with sourdough buns, and they are just a daily thing for sandwiches or hamburgers or a side for a meal. We do them a lot, and I've gotten in a good habit of just throwing them in the night before, getting them ready, letting them ferment, and then starting them the next day. So I like to try to add a fresh fruit with our breakfast if I can. And so today we're just having eggs and sausage and pineapple. Real simple but delicious meal that we got to enjoy. And we are going to actually be gone today for a couple hours, and we'll get back right around lunchtime, which tends to be a common time for us to get home. So I am getting things started so that when we do come in, everything is ready to go, because everybody comes in hangry, including myself. So we don't want to have to wait on me to prep everything. So today, like most days, I have some chicken already prepped and shredded. I like to keep some kind of protein ready to go if I can. It's so helpful on some of these kind of days. So I'm just getting all the ingredients ready for chicken salad. I do several different chicken salads, really. We've done a barbecue one, a more traditional one, more of a fruity type one. I even recently tried a honey mustard one that I love and I'm really having a moment with. So I have been doing that one a lot lately. But this one I already had mayonnaise made, which was super exciting, because even though it's incredibly simple to make, it's still an extra step. So it's exciting when it's already made and in the refrigerator. So I am thanking past me for doing that for future me. And I'm just kind of breaking down this chicken. I had made it the other day, but it was still kind of in like larger chunks. I didn't fully shred it. So just getting that chopped up. I added some apples in with this one. I'm going to add some raisins and celery, of course, onion. The kids usually protest a little bit. I let them pick it out because my husband and I love it in there. So I had just enough mayonnaise for the whole thing, and I will leave the recipe, well, the rough recipe that I use for homemade mayo if you have not made it. It's delicious and incredibly simple to make, and mine actually lasts for well over a week. I would say more like 2 weeks. It's usually gone by then, so I don't know actually how long it would last, but with adding in some whey or some vinegar, it lasts for quite a while for us. So I am not making you wait until the very end for this announcement. We have purchased land, which I will tell you about in just a few. But this footage, a lot of it is from a couple months ago. We've been going out there as often as we can and just kind of working on chopping some trees down. And we've had the land prepped now, but at first we kind of had to knock a few trees down just to see where we even wanted to put a home and what area we wanted to prepare. So Welcome to our new land. So we purchased a few months back, and it has been a joy to see these two little boys become completely enamored by the idea of freedom and just being able to run and be free and just do boy stuff. So that's probably been my favorite part, and just getting to smell the fresh air. It's amazing when you do live in a little bit of a city. We live in a small town, but still the air is just different. So it has been exciting, and we are looking forward to the future and all that it holds. So here I'm just showing the initial clearing that we had done, and just kind of the area that we will be in, and our drive will come down here. And the area we cleared is our home site and a bit more. So this is it. Fairly current nowadays. It's just all a bunch of dirt right now, but it's our dirt. We love it. And so we've been out there a lot, just checking things out and enjoying some fresh air, and we get our walks in. Also, guys, forgive me, I'm quite the amateur at trying to record while riding in a car or with children around, so that's why I use the tripod a lot. So please forgive all the shakiness, but I didn't really have another way to show you guys. So, as you've probably figured out by now, we purchased land. So, we are so excited. We have big plans for this place, and we've been keeping it secret for a little while. And so, that is the explanation of why things have been super busy in this season for us. We've been doing all sorts of land clearing and prepping for our home site and just everything that entails buying raw land. And it's been really exciting just coming out here and seeing all the different things that grow here. We've been seeing signs of spring everywhere, which is exciting because we bought it a few months back when it was very wintry and dead. And so seeing everything come to life has been really exciting. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit more of this, and just kind of wanted to let you know what had been happening. So aside from growing our own food, which I think is many people's goal that get this kind of acreage, is also for our kids. We want them to grow up as screen-free as possible. We're not opposed to all screens or anything like that. They watch TV and all that good stuff. But we want to give them room to explore and to be kids. And I feel like so much of that is lost nowadays. And it's such a gift that we now get to give them that. We have a long road ahead of us. We are building our own home out here, and we'll possibly be living here in the meantimes on the land. We don't know yet. There's still a lot up in the air. It's exciting nonetheless, and we're trying to keep that excitement despite the different bumps in the road that we are going through. And we know it'll be tough, but so worth it. So here's where you come in. I need your help. We are completely new to this raw land thing. We have leveled our home site and we have our floor plan figured out. I got to design it and that was a lot of fun, exciting. But we need some advice on this whole homesteading thing. We are a ways away from being able to do anything more than have some chickens because we already have those. But I would love to start planning now. Give me your advice on where to put a garden in relation to the house and what to look for in deciding where that should go for the best success. We have really sandy soil here. But it seems pretty nutrient dense, so we'll see. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff growing around here, so I think that's a good sign. But any advice you can give me, I would appreciate it because we're going to be doing a whole bunch of planning this year and hopefully be in a house next year. So now that you're all caught up, I need all your tips on all the farmy type things. And I am showing my lack of knowledge by even creating that term. But I am enjoying finding all these neat little things. Look at these. They're like little berry things. I looked them up. I forgot the name of them. But we're just getting these buns in the oven. We are back. And like I said, right at lunchtime, these were perfect and ready to go. They only take about 25 minutes to cook, so they're worth waiting. And then I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit and go to the following day for dinner time because I had this meal planned for that day. And then it was a church night for us, and we honestly we had enough leftovers and we got busy, and so we're like, we're just making a leftovers night. So I didn't want to leave that as the end of our day, even though very realistic, it's a little boring to watch. So I wanted to share this quick little meal with you. Very, very simple, just like a roast, but basically a chicken roast in the Dutch oven. I do this a lot with beef and love it, where I sear the meat and then put it in the Dutch oven to just cook for the rest of the evening. So I did that with chicken instead. And I used the bones from that chicken that I used for the chicken salad to make a bone broth. And I'm just seasoning my chicken here with some basil and some salt, some herbes de Provence, and some onion powder. I use a lot of onion powder because I didn't actually put an onion in this roast like I normally would. So I just kind of used a heavy hand with that, which I'm not opposed to anytime, to be honest. I don't feel like you can quite use enough onion powder in this type of thing. And then I actually added some balsamic vinegar. I just thought that might add a nice little flavor and just kind of a richness to it. I'm also going to add Worcestershire sauce in a few as well, just to kind of get that richness going. When you use so many veggies and potatoes like that and chicken that's, more bland, a little more bland of a meat, it just helps to really go crazy with the herbs, in my opinion. So I added all the rest of those seasonings to the top, just pepper and garlic powder basically, and then topped it off with the broth. And then this is a few hours later when we had already had our whole little afternoon, and I was just checking the veggies there, making sure everything on the top was tender. And that's the great thing about using a Dutch oven like that, is it just keeps everything tight and steamy in there, and so everything gets soft and full of flavor. So I'm just throwing together some biscuits. I don't feel like a roast is complete without biscuits. There you have a little glimpse as to why I always do voiceovers, because those were real sounds from our evening. And so I'm just throwing together some biscuits. Like I mentioned, I'm making a little bit of a gravy because it just sounded great and I had the time. So I actually ended up using both all-purpose, white all-purpose, and some of my wheat. And it actually tasted amazing. We were so surprised because I didn't expect these to turn out that great. since I was using the wheat, and not that it doesn't turn out great, but if it's of course not the same fluffy biscuit, but the depth of flavor was delicious, and so we actually are doing that a lot more now. And so we are just getting everything dished up. That's all we have left to do. So this is one of those where you get those deep bowls and just kind of pile everything on there. And although incredibly simple, it was super tasty and hearty and just hit the spot. So thanks for joining me today, guys. Let me know in the comments what I should be planning for our new land, and I hope to see you back really soon.